stream is cleared for takeoff.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our monthly live developer Q&A. Thrilled to see everyone in chat today. It's great to see people already posting where they're tuning in from. It's great to see everyone all over the world. Appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to watch this and interact with us. My name is Jayne. I am the Senior Community Manager for Microsoft Flight Simulator, moderating today's stream. So before we get started, welcome back to our regular panel. I'm going to start on the right this time. Crazy, I know.
Oh, wow.
Starting with Martial Bossard. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining.
I'm super fine. I'm very pleased to be here tonight.
Thank you so much. In the middle, we have Sebastian Wloch. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing very well.
And on our left, we have Jorg Neumann. Welcome, Jorg.
Hi, y'all. Good to see you.
You don't have your usual background today, Jorg.
I know.
Where are you?
Yeah.
I'm on vacation, and I'm in Hawaii.
Well,
white shirts. Yeah. Yes.
I was expecting aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah, that would have been a good
Aloha.
giveaway. Well, we're all jealous.
Right?
Is anyone tuning in from Hawaii right now? That's the question I want to ask. So we have received a ton of great questions already, of course, through a form that you may have filled out this month. We'll have 3 different Q&A sessions. And of course, we always take some live questions from chat within those Q&A sessions. So we do ask that you hold those questions for when we are in a Q&A session while we go over our presentation. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and kick it off. And Jorg, let's do it.
Awesome. Yes. Hi again, everybody. So again, I think the last few times I always start with a thank you. This time the thank you is for an awesome Flight Sim Expo. We just had the greatest time. If you go to the next slide, I think maybe
not yet.
So we had a great time. I'll talk about this a little bit later. Just to reflect what happened since the last update, we celebrated D-Day with the 2 aircraft here. And as you might remember, we said we're going to give the proceeds to the USO. And I'm happy to say that it turned into over $80,000. And the USO is super excited and thanks you all. So thanks for participating. I think it means a lot to that organization and the people that they serve. Then we obviously went to Vegas, and there's a lot of slides today. Maybe I went too picture happy. Anyways, there's the hotel that we went. It was hot as hell, like 111 or something.
Yeah.
But we had a wonderful time. This was the show floor. Just in case you guys haven't seen it, it was really great. We had Seb and I did a panel, and this time we invited some friends. In this case, I think 5 or 6 other teams that are working with us on the sim. It was really fun. We announced that we had 50 million users and just repeated a couple of things that I'm really proud of. 1 billion flight sessions, which I still think is amazing. We said, hey, the creator community is blowing us away. That's that next picture, which I actually have that as my desktop image now.
Wow.
Yep, those are all the add-ons that has been made. Unbelievable. And then just celebrated our developers. Then we had another presentation. And by the way, Jayne put those up. In case you didn't see them, she put them up on the YouTube channel, the Flight Sim YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
The next presentation was with Julie and the Marketplace team and Mabel and Todd. And it showed for the first time how this thing actually functions and how we look at it and some data, which I thought was interesting. And then for 4th of July, we updated. Some people corrected me. So those of you who said, hey, Jorg, a couple of those cities aren't in the Northeast, that is me, the German guy, getting the geography slightly wrong. But, anyways, I try to find basically a word for describing the cities we did, including Washington. Then we had the Curtis, which I think I actually read quite a bit of positive feedback, which I appreciated. And then here we are. So we are in July, so halfway through the year. We are just about halfway through this. And there is a hole there, as you can probably see. There was a 707, and we can talk about this a little bit. I mean, basically, the situation was we looked at the 707, and I think the expectations are both really high, and then the plane just wasn't quite ready, and we needed to give the developer more time. We really wanted to get the 707 done for the 4th of July. Made sense. But ultimately, we need to make sure that these aircraft are really good. So we haven't picked a new date because I didn't really want to put the development team under like some crazy stress, like, hey, you have 2 weeks to fix everything. But the goal is that we'll launch it with Sim Update 16. All right.
Awesome. All right, we'll get started with our session 1 for our Q&A. So chat, feel free to ask some questions. We'll pull some from there. In the meantime, we'll ask the ones we have up on the screen. So on that note, when can we expect Sim Update 16?
So I will talk to that. Well, first, we already talked about that. We want to include the new functionality for the GDK that expands the memory available on Xbox S. And we've got already some other fixes we want to include. So what about, let's talk about this GDK thing. This GDK thing is also bringing a side effect from this network layer, I would say, on Xbox. So we can't use it as is, and we are working with the Xbox team to get that fixed. But we don't have any ETA so far, so it will the release of the Sim Update 16 will depend a lot of on what's going to happen there. But we have some other good news. So last time we talked about these time zones that were not properly created in Flight Sim, so it's going to be fixed. So Christophe here, I've been working on updating that, so that's going to be brought with Sim Update 16 also. Obviously, we'll have some tweaks on performances and hopefully some stability fixes. I think we're going to talk about that later, but Eric and his team on the SDK is working to enlarge the limitation of 1,000 objects for the Sim objects. We've got a topic dedicated to that later on. We will get some bug fixes from working title also, and we've got some new peripherals coming, and that will be also included in Sim Update 16.
That's awesome. So I know this started out as mostly GDK, and now it sounds like there's some fixes. Will this also come with a standard beta period as well?
I think it will, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We said we're going to try to shoot for a month.
Yeah.
So that's basically, it's a high priority item on the Xbox team to find a solution. But you know how it is sometimes with code, you can't put an exact date on it. But then,
sorry. I would say it's also sometimes some research and development that we are doing, and also we're doing for Flight Sim 2024. And as soon as we know that we can port the improvements to Flight Sim, it's what we are trying to do. So we don't know yet exactly what's going to be, not 100% sure on what we are going to bring for Sim Update 16, as much as we can, I would say.
Awesome. Since you alluded to it, our next question here is, since you talked about sim objects and the limit last time, some of the devs said that the limit is not 1,000 objects per add-on, but 1,000 globally. It almost made it into Sim Update 15, as you said. Any chances to seeing this getting fixed in Sim Update 16?
This we actually did some really deep dive investigation, and so far we don't agree with the devs who say that the add-on is 1,000 globally. So what we did is we actually did our own add-on from scratch and tried to create objects, and we went up to 10,000. So we did hit a limit. It is when we try to access these objects to get basically a request limit, which was 1,000, and that is per SimConnect connection. So what we did is we did a workaround. We just in our add-on opened 10 connections and used 1,000 objects in each connection, and that was what all we needed to do to get up to 10,000. And so we did not hit any other limit, and so we communicated with that on the forum. People said they had other issues, and so basically we didn't find any limits. Some people said they wanted to send us an example that actually shows what the limit they are hitting, and so far we haven't. We're still waiting on that, and as soon as we get more info, we will. I don't know. We will adjust our example or our test. But we have successfully done. I mean, this little screenshot with I don't know what it is, some giraffe or elephant. Something. Yeah. Obviously, 10,000 is not super fast in terms of frame rate, and so we don't encourage people to just flat out generate 10,000 objects. It's always good if we have that many. If you have that many things of something, to do some management of only managing those which are close to the user, and not actually come to 10,000 of anything. But we did not so far find that limit, and so we're investigating further. But maybe that's all that was there. If hopefully it's just that limit that, if needed, can be worked around with another connection. We will raise that limit in the Martial already said in Simulate 16. It's 1,000. We will make that bigger, and leave the responsibility to add-on makers to not just go up to 10,000 and slow down the sim. It's just going to slow down the general frame rate if some add-on does that.
Awesome. And going back, we have this question here. According to March 13th development stream, Martial thought the DLSS blurry glass fix from NVIDIA was out, but realized it wasn't released. So is there any update regarding this matter?
A small one. So it was not really the case. One part of the fix has been pushed, but not all of it, because we had some side effects. And I wanted to have a conversation with the one in charge on that matter, but he's on holiday. I don't know if he's in Hawaii, but he's not at the office. So, so I couldn't get more information, but I will surely give you more information during the next.
Okay, we'll have this as a question again for next stream. But
yes,
next stream. Yes. All right. I hope the team enjoyed FS Expo and hasn't gone down with Conflu afterwards. Could we expect further events to be attended officially in the future, such as FS Weekend in Europe?
I can answer this. So as a FS Weekend, we wanted to go actually this year, and it didn't turn out because we were busy still with flights in 2024. Couldn't make it, but I talked to Niels and promised him we would be there next year. So that's a definite. And then obviously we're looking forward to Providence with the expo again, and we'll go to some other events as well. So yes.
Fantastic. All right, our next question here. Virtual reality has seen very few features added and very few bugs fixed since its inclusion in December 2020. What details can you give VR users about future features, like the free OpenXR toolkits in the base sim, for example, bug fixes alongside better support going forward?
So I think the better support will come from the fact that now on Flight Sim 2024, VR is seen as a development platform. Like we've got Xbox, PC, obviously. We also have the cloud, and VR is one of the. It's something that we are considering as a platform. So it is something we are working from day one. Directly, it's not an add-on like we did on Flight Sim 2020, right? So I can see one just here. There's VR headsets everywhere, and it's embedded in the development. So obviously, we'll get at least as much as that you had in 2024. It will be better integrated, and we are trying to push out as hard as possible to do everything as much as we can do.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, Martial. Next question. In the last Q&A, it was mentioned that Series S would benefit from an additional 580 MB of memory in the new GDK. However, issues on Series X, including loss of textures and geometry of aircraft, and black screens are persistent in Sim Update 15. Can Series X also benefit from the additional memory to allow for some headroom?
I can talk about this. So the 580 megabyte of memory is, from what I know, only on Series S.
It is. Sorry.
It is, yeah. Which is very good because it's the console that had the biggest limitation and issue. On Series X, we have more room. So on that platform, we can still do some improvements on sliders, on basically on how much memory and how much buffer we need. The plan right now is that in Sim Update 16, we get, for one, the GDK update for the Sim Series S to be improved. The other update is done on sim update 16. We will improve the settings on the memory on the Series X, which should, I think, improve things there. We're also investigating something which we cannot commit to, neither on which update it's going to work or if it's going to work at all. But we have another new way of get a little bit more memory out on the console, which is pretty much similar to what virtual memory does on PC. This has been tested right now. We don't know yet if it's going to work, but hopefully we will have some way eventually to get that to work too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Question from chat from Ellie Simmer. During Flight Sim Expo, we talked about the fact that it's not possible to start from a helipad in a cold and dark state. Sebastian said it should be possible to start whether hot or cold and dark. Can we expect an update on this soon?
Yes, I will investigate.
We'll follow up.
Mm-hmm.
We'll follow up.
Okay. All right, next question. Can the feedback snapshot be purged and redesignated the 2020 development roadmap, containing only items planned for the remainder of its lifespan? I imagine it's already known what items are beyond the current engine's capability and what items are not significant enough to warrant pulling development resources away from 2024.
Already on it. What I'm actually currently doing is, development snapshot only picks the top 72 items or something. I actually went into the first 500 items, historical, make sure that we're not missing anything. But I've done exactly what you're asking for. So there's going to be a 2020 remaining things, and then there's a new one for 2024. So yeah, that's in progress.
Awesome. Thanks, Jorg. All right. With the growing amount of editions available now for Microsoft Flight Simulator, are there any plans to allow hardware developers to showcase their products in the marketplace?
So I don't know what showcase means, but I can say we don't have any way to do fulfillment. Like, for example, we don't have a warehouse that we can somehow magically put a bunch of hardware in and then send it out to people. So we are a digital marketplace. Mm-hmm. So hardware doesn't really fit into our offering. So far there's no plans for this. I mean, for example, I go to the Airsoft website ever so often, like every few months or so, and they obviously have hardware, but they also have a warehouse. So I don't know. If you have a suggestion, just send it over to Jayne or comment here. But that's the reason, at least, why we don't have it.
Okay, thanks, Jorg. A couple chat questions. Since it was announced that there will be an option for devs to sell upgraded versions of add-ons for a small fee, what happens if the add-on was not purchased in 2020? Will it be the price of the original version plus the upgrade fee, or a set price by the devs?
It's always the set price by the devs.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this presentation at the expo about the marketplace. I think it was a little bit misunderstood what Mabel was talking about. Then we put a message out. Basically, I mean, for us here, Microsoft product, we will not charge a fee. Like I've said that before. It's just not a thing I want to do. Mm-hmm. But we are what's called an agency model in the marketplace. We don't set those prices. All the prices come from the developers. And I heard from a bunch of developers that they intend to not charge for any upgrade, and some might, but that's really not in our control. And if you mean by if it's not purchased in 2020, if you mean the marketplace or not, I mean, we have even less information about what's happening outside the marketplace. So inside the marketplace, the developer sets the price when they submit a package. Mm-hmm. And so it's totally up to them, really.
Awesome. All right, another chat question. Will you guys be at Oshkosh this year to showcase 2024?
I wish.
We wish.
So we're just so busy, so no. But next year we're planning on going. And there was some discussion to actually have a stand again. Last time we had a real stand was Flight Sim 10. It's been a while,
wow.
But I think we want to do it.
That'd be cool. All right, moving on to our next question. Okay, with the latest problem on the Xbox network last week, and that was written when there was the downtime on Xbox, I think last month, a small number of players experienced a complete wipe of their user profile, resulting in a loss of their controller profiles. As the process of creating a profile for a single plane can be really time-consuming, this is frustrating for them. The issue seems that Microsoft Flight Simulator checks if it can find a cloud-saved profile of that user. In case this check is negative, MSFS asks the user to do the out-of-box experience, resulting in overwriting the local save of the profile and wiping everything. Would you be able to implement code which first checks if there's already a local profile?
So I've got some bad news on that subject. It's not us that are doing the request on the cloud. We are using a functionality from the OS of the Xbox, and we are just asking for the latest save, which is stored stored by the OS itself, and it is the OS that gets the cloud save, and this is the OS that does the work to give us the latest save. So we don't have any mechanism so far to do that operation because it's already has been delegated to the console.
Mm-hmm.
So far we can't do that. That would mean that we will have to override the system that the Xbox has.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question. I'm about to get back to flight simming and I just got a yoke and about to buy a joystick as well. Congratulations to whoever you are out there. My question is, would you be able to make the configuration of the hardware a more enjoyable experience, like a first-time setup mode where you would be guided through all the buttons set up as default, one at a time by clicking a next button with the option to change it as well?
Well, this is not the way we're doing things. We are more functionality oriented on Flight Sim, and sometimes and very often you've got a combination of key, so that would be something more complicated. You would have to add some how do you say that in English? Some additional keys when you want to have a combination. But I can show you how it's going to work on 2024 if you want.
Sure, let's see it.
So we've got a new approach on 2024, and this new approach is that we will have set up pair planes, a pair device. So you can see on the bottom left of the screen, you've got 3 different layers. It means that you can define some input for a general purpose. It means that it will work for all planes, but you can also then overwrite these inputs if you want kind of pair planes. This is the next layer. And we've got a final layer, which is the planes itself. So you will be able to define controls per planes in a very specific and precise way. And more of that, this configuration is now read in the plane. So basically, if you, let's say that you've got a very small plane, it will just read the inputs you need on the configuration of the plane, and you will just get the right amount of inputs. Let's say that you won't have, for instance, the gears up or down if you don't have gears on the plane. The new thing also, which is super convenient, is that the setup that you've seen in the main menu, you will now get it during the sim itself. So you will be able to tweak your inputs while flying. It's just another button that you've got on the control panel. And the last thing, we have also tried to improve the speed of doing things. So now you will be able to just click on inputs and define all the inputs you need in a row. That is taking way less time than it used to be. And finally, the last option that we've got, it's that now all the configurations are saved and stored in packages. So it means there's no longer a dependency on Asobo there. So everybody on the dev mode will be able to do packages for inputs. So if you want to share your super well done configuration on a piece of hardware, you will be able to share that with the package. And also it means that all the manufacturers will be able to do the same and share the packages of configuration day one when they release the piece of hardware. So that will be way more convenient than what we used to have on Flight Sim 2020.
That is awesome. Yes. Great to see a little sneak peek of the UI there. Thank you so much, Martial.
You're welcome.
Going back, just on this question of the profiles, we had a user that said the saved data loss is not console only, but happens to many PC users as well. So does the same explanation kind of apply to PC as well?
I'm sorry. I didn't
It's
get
back
it.
to you, Marcel. It's basically saying,
Yeah.
and we had the Xbox outage and people lost information. That particular comment is that it's also happened on PC.
Because it's the same save system. So in order to do that, we will need to override the way all the Xbox server is managing saves. I think we could investigate that because it's really painful. But so far we are based on that generic system that Xbox Services is doing.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Next question. I fly 3 times a week in multiplayer sessions with friends, 5 to 9 participants usually. Everyone's free to choose the aircraft they want. A major complaint is that aircraft substitutions that Microsoft Flight Simulator performs. We've tried the freeware multiplayer matching utility, but it's not a solution. Is the team willing to discuss this problem and how they plan to improve this aspect of multiplayer simulation experience? Our group is hopeful that this aspect will get a dramatic overhaul in 2024, but we're worried because of the silence on the issue.
Monsieur Wloch?
Yeah, so I don't have a lot to say about this, and so there's going to be a bit more silence, but we will investigate. If the main limitation here is that it's going to be memory, right? If you fly with 10 people, like 5 to 9, and everyone has a different aircraft, we need to load them all into memory, and so that's basically the reason for the limitation, and I think that also the number of aircraft for fallback we implemented at start did not plan for, like, for example, helicopters or stuff like that. So this is something we need to work on to improve. And I mean, I think once we have a solution, we can probably tell more about this in detail. But right now, this is something we need to investigate further.
I think on 2020, it's going to be really hard because we're at the memory limit already. I don't know. But on 2024, we've made a lot more generic planes for air traffic. So I think we should at least be able to get those.
It's also it's also the memory on
Sure.
The whole architecture on 2020 is that if you have we need to load the whole plane, right? And some planes are 1 gigabyte or more, and there is no system where you can just take a little bit of something. And unfortunately, that's something which is an architectural issue, which we changed. But yeah, on 2020, I don't know if we can, or how we can find a solution for that. We really need to investigate. At least for helicopters, that they don't show a Cessna or something like that. It's something to look at.
Yeah, and I guess that goes along with the question: is that why it was changed from under investigation to not planned in the wish list item?
In the 20, yeah, it's the partial update of me moving stuff from 2020 to 2024. In 2020, it's very unlikely to happen. In 2024, I think there's things we can do.
Yeah. And in chat we say, why not let people do their own model matching via the SDK?
Because except for helicopters, it's because the issue is not that we are not putting the planes you want to see. It's that we have a limitation not showing too much planes. So that's a bit different. And the model matching has been changed on 2024 also.
Okay. All right. One more question from chat I saw earlier. I don't know if you can answer this yet, but I'll pose it. Will it be possible to fly together in multiplayer 2020 versus 2024? Will the servers be shared?
No. No, it will. We have changed the way it's done. So so it was a research, and we wanted to investigate that, but so far we won't do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for answering those questions and also for asking. We'll get to our next Q&A session shortly, but now, Jorg, we have a world update to announce.
Yeah, so this is what I said. I put probably way too many pictures in this deck, so we're going to go really quick. So the world update 17 is I was shocked at the beginning of this thread because there was a lot of people saying stuff about Scotland and Ireland. I'm like, how did you guys know this? Anyways, so it is in fact the United States and Ireland. There is New Dem.
United
And I just want to
Kingdom.
show, oh, where's my New Dem picture?
Here
There it
they
is. Hello. So you see, so the resolution is at the bottom when you look at the legend. So you can see we were actually really low resolution in Ireland and Scotland. That's like green. Green is it's called Copernicus fallback. It's like 20 to 30 meter dem, which is also known as not good at all. And when you see the colors go towards the red spectrum, it gets better and better on high resolution. So a lot of London and the England area is now a meter. Some of it is 50 centimeter. And then the rest of it we have, I believe, in 2 meters, which is dramatically better than what we had so far. So, and then we had
Chat said you said it at Flight Sim Expo, maybe on accident.
I did. Such a leak. It's so bad. Oh my God. Anyways, so here's a picture of a bunch of the POIs we made and the airports we made. And then so this is, all of those are made by Gaia, as I said a few times. And they also made a whole bunch of screenshots. So I'm starting with Ireland. And I just want to say for you, I saw a couple of people from Ireland today. We did a world update, World England and Ireland, back in 2021. And I thought Ireland was severely underserved. So I got feedback too that it was severely underserved. So we said we're going to go fix this. So we actually flew planes over Ireland to capture some cities. So let's just look. So we have Cork, you can see it here, Dublin, of course. And then the famous cliffs of Moher. We also did Cork Airport. And then bunch of POIs. Let's just go, and I'm not even going to comment because there's too many. I just want to give you an impression what this all is. It's a very large world update, I can say that much. So we're still in Ireland. Picked some cool places. Faster, Jayne. This is going to take Right. There's Northern Ireland.
You'll have to pause it in the video later, everyone.
Unfortunately, so I tried to get Belfast, couldn't get Belfast. It's on our list to get that done, but let's just go through the POIs. This more impressionist painting here, like quick. And then Isle of Man, different country. And there's Scotland. A couple of people were asking about Scotland. So if Edinburgh and Glasgow, it's 3D, Sunburg Airport, and then lots of other things. You can see it. It looks beautiful now. I'm so happy. And then England, there's a lot of cities here. So Brighton, Bristol, London, we showed that, I think, in a picture. And London is huge this time. It goes out to Heathrow and Welling and Wembley, and it doesn't even remotely compare to what we had before. Then Farnborough Airport, well, that's too fast. Wait.
Okay, my bad.
A little bit
Farnborough.
more. No, a little bit more. I want to celebrate next. No more. Okay. Anyways, so there's London Stansted, which is a huge airport. Farnborough is actually. Hold on, Jayne. Hold on. Farnborough is actually the reason why we're doing this update in the first place, because the Farnborough Air Show is starting next week, and we have. So that airport is made by Builds, and it also has what we call. So the air show configuration. So on the days of the air show, it actually looks like the air show, which is kind of cool. And then we can go back to watching a bunch of POIs. Now you can go the other direction.
Here we go.
Sorry for the speed bump. So pretty. And what I can say, because I worked obviously on World Update 3 back in the day, it's really nice to go back because you can go. We've done the Windsor Castle and all these things back in World Update 3, and now we can go into much more detailed, interesting places that are maybe not so well known. So it's nice. It was really fun working on this. All right, and there's Wales, and we have Cardiff Airport. And if you've flown over Wales, you know it wasn't that nice. It's a beautiful part of the world, but now it looks really great. And we have Gibraltar. Yes, in tin, finally.
Oh, okay. We made it through the photos.
Like it.
So yeah, if you wanted to see the longer photos, of course, just check this out on YouTube a little bit later, and you can pause, take screenshots. But we'll go ahead and get to our Q&A session 2 on aircraft, scenery, and miscellaneous. So chat, feel free to start asking questions again, and we'll begin here. What can we expect? When can we expect the next bug fix release for the amazing and beloved ATR?
So we will get. So I don't think I've said that. Maybe we'll announce it. Soft announce. So the ATR ATR pinged us a little while ago and said, "Hey, we're doing this 42 stall version, and are you interested in doing this?" And we're like, "Yep, of course we are." So there's work being done on that. Then there's also new Highline interiors, which we're also doing. And all that artwork took a pretty long amount of time. It's all coming in end of this month, so in about 2 weeks. At the same time, Hans and his team have been working on code fixes. Those code fixes are now in test on our side. The artwork is coming in a few weeks, so I predict we'll have it all in a nice package in mid-September. It's going to take that long to get it all really great.
Exciting. Awesome. Thank you. We already answered this next question about Boeing 707. Anything you wanted to add to this, Jorg? I guess we could do the next question. What sort of systems fidelity can we expect from the Boeing 707?
There's some soul searching going on. I mean, we want to be transparent, right? So the local legend and famous flyers, they're not intended to be like the super deep simulated planes. They're intended to be fun and introduce people to important planes. But we also obviously read what's going on in the forums. So there's a lot of discussion currently going on. How far do we need to take this to make sure that everybody's happy? So that's also why I said I don't want to force the team to go release something in 2 weeks, because ultimately we're making these for you. And so give us a little bit of time. Everybody wants to do a great job. It's clearly coming this year. I have no doubt about that, but I don't know exactly when yet. Could be September as well. Don't know yet.
Okay. We have a peripheral question in chat. What is the state of force feedback hardware? Does it work? I heard the way old Sidewinder can be made to work with 2020, but sure would be nice to feel the wheels touch down, which would improve our feet per minute landing scores.
I don't have any new status on that. Maybe someday, hopefully.
I mean, we know this much.
Yeah.
Many hardware manufacturers want to make force feedback work. So we are obviously talking to all these partners.
Okay. In the future. Let's see.
Hopefully.
Did we answer all these? No.
No, I went forward. All right, our next question here. What's the status of World Hub airports in near future or in 2024?
There is a separate set of slides in a little bit. Let's postpone that one.
Okay.
2 slides down or something.
Yeah. Next question. The Las Vegas City and City Update 9 updates introduced what appears to be a new approach to TIN. Will all previous TIN be updated automatically, or will all those cities have to be redone completely, including airplane scan?
No. Well, so is there new tech? Yes. But it's not an Asobo-based thing. It's a Bing-based thing. So they improved all the algorithms. You know how this works. So the plane flies over, you get a point cloud, and then you basically have to create a mesh. And they have optimized how the streets are done, how bridges are done, a little bit of undercut. So what you see is much better quality out of the gate coming from the Bing team, which is awesome. As far as does it all have to be reflown? It depends what data we have. So if the data exists, which is like this L2 data state, it basically can go into pipeline again. It gets re-exported. But then when you look at flights from 2020, we have a whole bunch of cities that are pretty old, quite frankly. It's from like 2000. Some of them are as far back as 2015. A lot of those cities have been reflown or are in the process of being reflown, like Miami, for example, or Los Angeles, New York, those types of things. And what you're going to get is the new version with the better algorithms. And we will drop those in probably via city updates, because there's no better way to do it. I mean, what you just saw, maybe I should have said that, in World Update 3, we actually had Brighton and one other city, or London. We had that itty bitty London. We will blast over those. The old cities will be gone and replaced with the new ones, and that's how we're going to do this here as well. So when there's a new city available, we're going to actually update it in the world update that it shipped with.
Okay.
Hope that made sense.
Yeah. And to pair with that question, it appears the old tin method downloaded different components separately, while the latest method combines it all as a single model, produces LODs, and then streams that data. Is this all correct? And if not, how does it work?
It's not correct. It's the same fundamental thing. So it's just the model is better.
Yeah.
We also have high LODs. If you look at London, I think London is the first city that we have LOD 21 for, which I believe is 3 centimeters roughly.
Wow.
I'm not even sure we're using all that in the sim because it's the amount of data goes up like 4x, I think. But yeah, as I always said, look, this whole digital twin journey that we're on, the tech is getting better and better, and the data is getting better and better. So you're just going to see this improve over time.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jorg. Next question. How are you getting on with your long-planned Brazil world update?
It's the secret. No. The city's done. Yay! That was the last bit. So we were waiting for the air traffic controller in a very large city in Brazil to actually allow us to fly it. And it's now finally finished. So we have all the data. It's now going into the pipeline, and that is that. It will ship pretty soon. But it takes. But to also say it takes months to do it. So it's not like next week or next month.
Right. Glad to hear it's going well. First off, thank you for everything you all have done for us simmers. One question is, when working with partner devs such as AnyBuilds, and they provide updates to their aircraft, how often are those updates pushed out to us simmers? And is there any improvements coming to that process to get updates sooner?
So AnyBuilds makes 2 different types of planes, or rather, the way I think about those planes, the A310 and A320neo V2 are in the base sim. And they get updated when the base sim gets updated. So when Martial talked earlier about sim update 16, that there will be some other fixes, there will in fact be some fixes for the A310, the A320, also the PC6 for what it's worth. But so those are not as fast to update simply because it's the whole base sim needs to be updated with it. The payware plane thingies that they make, they update all the time. I think we're doing another version of the Skyvan next week, which I think is version 11. So it's pretty frequent, and that one has nothing to do with AnyBuilds. We do that with pretty much all of our partners on airplanes.
Okay, when will you start to provide more in-depth information on 2024?
September.
Ooh, wonderful. So does that answer the second question? When can we start asking 2024 questions in the dev streams?
In September.
Okay. Just hold on a little longer, chat. I do see some really great 2024 questions, and there's a reason I'm not asking those yet, so we're gonna hold on those for a little while. In the meantime, we have a new local legend to announce.
You said, yeah, well, okay, let's go to the next slide. Local Legend 18. It's made by AnyBuilds, and then I think there's nothing.
Yes.
And the reason is the aircraft's done, and the testers are all saying it's awesome and fun, and we are trying to finish our licensing contract.
Okay.
I was really hoping we could get this done today, but I ended up just deleting all the slides. I'm like, ah. But Sergio, if you're on, it's in fact a helicopter. So hopefully this all comes together, and we'll have the license in the next few days. I mean, the manufacturer really wants to do it. We really want to do it. It's lawyers talking to each other, right? So it's the last final bits, but I wanted to share images today, and I can't.
Okay. Can't wait to see what it is.
That's cool.
All right, we are kicking it back to a previous question about World Hub, and so I see you have some slides here.
Yeah, all right. If you go to the next slide. So basically here's results for so far. So I think we said we had 1,200 people sign up for the World Hub. I think 700 have logged in at least once, and I don't want to read through all this, but I think it's been quite successful, and we're really happy, and it seemed like the people had a good time. I ran into someone at the expo, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he sort of self-identified as, "Hey, I'm one of the main contributors to the World Hub, and I heard that you guys are having all new aerials. Is that going to screw up all my work?" And it's not that dramatic, but what is true is that there is new aerials, and the aerials can sometimes shift, right, by sometimes a few centimeters, sometimes it could be actually a few meters. And because of that, we are actually going to close the World Hub until Flight Sim 2024 is out in market, and then a few more months. So sometime in the next spring, we're going to open it again. I think the test was done well. I think the outcome was good, but we want to make sure that nobody wastes their time. And we think of this as super successful, but give us a little bit of time to get the new sim in market. As I said before, right, the aerials are shared between Flight Sim 2024 and Flight Sim 2020. So whatever work exists will affect both sims. So there's no separation. And that's the reason why we're doing this.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you for the update on the World Hub.
But thanks for contributing. It was great to see it.
Absolutely. All right, Top Gun update.
Yes. So remember, I know it's probably somewhat repetitive, but so we were supposed to take down Top Gun and on May 22nd. Then they extended it by 2 months. I think I have at least there's a picture to look at. So then it was hey, you can keep it up till July 22nd. Well, today is July 17th. And then I went back to Paramount and said, hey, can we keep it on, like for a long time? And so the marketing team at Paramount has said yes. I think I asked for 2 years or 3 years or something. But it's currently with the filmmakers. And we are hoping that we will hear this week. We have a backup plan. I think some people said they had taken some dependencies on some of the content. So we actually have a backup plan that's tested and it's working. But my genuine hope is that we can keep this. But I just don't know today.
Yeah.
Hopefully tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you, Jorg.
Maybe we should repeat that it's not going to be deleted for the user that has already
Correct.
purchased.
Yeah. If you have it, it's not going to magically. It's not like anybody goes to your computer and deletes stuff. It's not legal.
We won't do that.
Yeah.
But you can't download it anymore. That would be it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take a few more questions from chat. So feel free to ask. And I'm going to start with this one. I'm a huge fan of the Antonov AN225 ever since it was added into Sim as a charity event for Ukraine. Are there any plans to get 6-axis throttle support in 2024 or 2020, I guess, thus to have planes like the AN225 the option to control all 6 throttles separately?
It's a question for Martial.
Yeah, but it's a question. I don't think we have set up some limitation on analogs. Say what? I will give you the answer for the next Q&A. Please give it to me, and I will make sure that I can give you an answer.
Okay, we will include that in our follow-up Q&A
Thank you.
session next month. Have we heard about the July surprise?
We did.
No, it's all true. The July surprise. Okay, I'll talk about it because I put it on that grid. There was a plane that was supposed to launch alongside the Olympics, and that plane didn't make it. Wow. So it's another one of those planes that we need to be careful with because it's important, and so it needs a little bit more baking time. So it won't be July. It'll be sometime later.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. And hold on, just reading a couple more questions here. Seeing a lot of 2024 questions. Let me see. Thank you. Some kind words from some of our chat for doing these streams and just in general for working on this sim. Appreciate that. Confirmation, when is World Hub going to be closed?
That is a good question. I don't remember. It was pretty imminent. I need to get back to you. There's a producer at Microsoft and a producer at Asobo managing this, and I don't know the date. I think it's I want to say it was alongside World Update 17, maybe.
Okay, I will ask just a couple more questions. I've seen this quite a few times. So, will there be any world updates in the future in 2020 for Africa?
Yes.
Awesome.
I can say I've successfully got some planes into Africa. There's actually some tin cities already being made.
Ooh,
Yes.
awesome.
It is awesome.
Will ground handling be updated in 2020 to support multiple jetways?
I've seen the question. So it was on the roadmap. I don't know if it's going to make it on 2024 for release. So same here. Please, it's an information we'll give during the next stream.
All right. Okay, thank you for your questions. We'll continue on with our presentation here, which is moving on now to the roadmap.
Oh yeah, the roadmap. Well, I can't really see it. Anyway, so World Update 17 comes out in 5 days. World Update 18 we haven't announced yet, so there's going to be a stream before that. There's also a very cool plane that comes with it. That one is licensed. Yeah. So that's a guarantee. And then as far as you can see what's going on there. I duplicated the Boeing, which is clearly not right. So there's a little bit of movement in the famous flyer category, and so I think that's where we are. Beyond that, I'm not sure, Jayne, what else we had.
We have, aircraft developer announcement.
So I think the idea is, but I think we're going to for the next update, we have announced a fair number of the planes already for what's in the standard edition of Flight Sim 2024. And I think next time I'm going to make a full grid of everything you're going to be getting standard SKU, and there will be some new aircraft developer announcement with that. So it's deferred to, I think, Jayne, we need another Dev Q&A in like 4 weeks.
Okay.
Just to make sure it happens before the World Update 18.
Yeah. Fabulous. Well, that is the end of our presentation. A little shorter today, but I hope you found some great information, useful information, both in our questions and the different slides we presented. Saw a little sneak peek there of the UI Screen 2024. Great to see it. So, the three of you, anything you'd like to add or say before we close out today's stream?
Monsieur?
I'm missing a long lecture from Professor Wloch today. We didn't get that. So I'm a bit frustrated because it's so interesting. And well, the audience is...
I'm always talking too much.
No, it's not too much. No. Have you ever seen the comments that we're getting when you're doing your super technical thing?
I think there's gonna be a lot of these in some time.
Oh yes.
I'm looking forward to that. It's called pressing the Seb button. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, thank you all for joining today. I mean, I would say we are sort of in a transition, as you can tell, right? We are super heads down. Obviously, there's world updates and things, but like we are super heads down in 2024. 4 months to go to launch, so pressure's on to finish everything. You will see updates and a lot of information about 2024 coming in the next, I think, 8 weeks. And we're going to a little bit, as I said, like next time we're going to talk a little bit about more aircraft.
Exciting. Well, looking forward to it. Thank you, chat, for tuning in today. Thank you to Jorg, Seb, and Martial, of course, for answering all these questions. Appreciate the time you take to do these as well. And chat, we will see you again in, roughly 4 weeks or so for our August dev stream. And until then, enjoy the rest of summer. Have a good time and see you later. Bye, everyone.
See you. Bye.